Hello everyone, I'm coming to deliver to you the revelation of January 16, 2018. That morning I was lying down, I woke up, in fact it was around 6 a.m. But I stayed in bed without knowing what I was going to do with my day. That's when I heard a voice, which told me, I will join those who welcome you, but I will distance myself from those who do not welcome you. I will reject them. I wanted to know who is speaking to me. That's when I was transported in the spirit. There I saw a man smiling at me with the marks on his hands and his feet. I was convinced that it was the Lord Jesus Christ of Nazareth, and so I stood there looking at him. Afterwards, he told me follow me. As I followed him, he told me to note what I would see and what I would hear, so we rose on a white cloud. I saw below my feet that the terrestrial environment disappeared to reveal a very black circle, really black. I wondered where he was taking me, but at the same time I was confident and reassured. Finally we arrived in heaven. When we walked for a while, we crossed the cities of paradise. There were multiple different creatures like the animals and the insects. These insects glorify the Lord Jesus Christ, and every heavenly creature we pass by prostrated before the Lord to adore him. We had encountered angels that flew like in a hurry. They each went about their business. But when they saw the Lord they first all stopped in order to bow down to him to greet and worship him, and then they continued their path. Everything was really carefully organized. I even heard the bees singing in heart. They worshipped the Lord, and I noticed that the bees that are in heaven are bigger than those that are on the land. I stopped there to hear them singing to the Lord. They had beautiful voices and sang in an amazing way. They were singing along and it was really beautiful to hear. It was really wonderful. So I stopped there in order to watch, for I was captivated. The Lord called me and told me, Anne, we no longer have time, so I started to walk behind him again. I followed him and finally we arrived in front of a rivers of living water that flow from the throne heading to various cities of paradise. He told me, you were at this river of crystalline water yesterday, right? You were not alone in this garden. In parenthesis, the day before I was in this garden, when he transported me in the spirit and I found myself in this garden, and I will publish the audio of this revelation in another time. And the Lord continued by telling me, I was with you here, you see, here in heaven. I am everywhere, just like I am on the earth. I am also under the sea, and I am under the earth. There is not a place that escapes my gaze. Anne, take a plunge into the river of life, immerse yourself completely. And I was hesitant because I don't know how to swim. So he told me, Anne, I want to take away the smell of the world that emanates from you. You still smell the smell of the world. And when he told me that, I was ashamed about that, and I hastened to go in the river of the living water and I immersed myself completely, and it was really very crystal clear water of life that shone like crystal, and the fear that almost invaded me left me, and I entirely trusted in the Lord, so I plunged completely into the water. And it was then that the current carried me away on the other side of the river bank where the Lord was, so he was no longer waiting for me where he told me to dive, for when he told me to dive he went to the other side of the bank, and he was waiting for me there, and there was a force that threw me in the water and led me directly to the Lord. Afterward I noticed that my whole body and my dress, everything I had on me, shone like crystal. I wondered how I was going to manage to dry. And it's as if the nature of heaven obeyed the thoughts of the citizen of heaven, and it did obeyed me. So there was a wind, there was a very gentle wind which blew on me. The gentleness of the wind dry me off, and it happened so calmly and very quickly. The Lord looked at me and smiled. Afterward he said to me, do you know that you are going through a series of trials and tests? It is written, if anyone wants to come after me, he must deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. Therefore, since Christ suffered in his body, arm yourselves with the same resolve, because anyone who has suffered in his body is done with sin. Then he invited me to follow him, so we walked on the golden pavement which served as a street. These streets were very wide. I started looking among all the houses made of gold, silver and precious stone that I saw. I was looking, in fact I started looking for a pharmacy. The Lord, knowing my thoughts, told me that here in heaven there is nothing impure, there is no illness here, it is only on earth. Finally we arrived before a hall, which extended as far as the eye could see. I saw that in this hall, there was a very long table, and this table was not only very long but it was also very large. It also stretched as far as the eye could see. I did not see the end of this table, and on this table there were golden plates, golden cups, golden cutlery, there were fruits, juice, grapes, breads, there was manna too, there were many things, in fact succulent corn, and all this was well arranged on this very long table. The table was made of gold. There were the golden chairs arranged on opposite sides of this table, so that those who were for example seated on one side could be facing those who were also on the other side. It was like that, but in the direction of width, and the tablecloth which was on the table was made of fine linen. I wanted to know if I had a place at this table. The Lord showed me my chair on which my festive clothing was placed and my crown of gold, and the angel who was next to my chair showed me how to make sure that my robe and my crown were removed from this table and the chair that I was to occupy. Then the Lord said to me, "Pay your debts and you will find your place, because at my banquet, I will only welcome those who are 100% devoted to me." Then the Lord reassured me that everything will be fine for me, but this instruction to pay back my debt really scared me, to the point that the joy I was manifesting was gone. I told myself, "Oh God, I'm going to return to this earth, filled with sin and Satan with his fallen angels, who are relentlessly fighting us. What is the guarantees that I will not accumulate more sin?" Knowing my thoughts, the Lord told me, "Everything is possible through me. I am with you, just stay with me, do not move away from me, and everything will be fine." I then asked the Lord, "When you say that I have to pay my debt, does it mean that my name is not written in the book of life?" The Lord said, "No, that's the reason why I brought you to show you all these, in order to help you fight better this good fight of faith, so that you will be here. Go and pay your debts." I told him, "Lord, is that all that remains for me to do in order to enter your kingdom?" He answered, "Yes, for other small details you'll come out of this well, you'll get there." I told him, "Lord, please don't get angry. How can I get this money to pay my debt because I don't have a job, and you told me not to use my diploma to work?" He told me, "Of course, follow my instructions, and everything will be better for you." The banquet room in question was lit with a soft light. We then left this room, and arrived at the gate of the Lamb wedding hall, which was enormous. He said to me, "Go and tell your brothers, I will see you again soon." And immediately a white cloud came under my feet and carried far away me from the face of the Lord Jesus Christ. I saw an enormous round expanse as the cloud brought me down. I understood that it was the earth.